Hi, I'm Denise. Thank you for watching my video. Today I'm going to talk about the sound I have divided this topic into two parts. In part one, this video, I will be talking about these things up here. And in part two, my second video, I will be talking about these things down here. So in part one, I will talk about how to make this sound. I will talk about which letters make this sound. Then I will give you some special notes about the sound and about the letters. And I will also give you many words to practice with me, words that contain this sound at the beginning, in the middle, and at the end. Okay? So lots of practice. Then in part two, I will compare similar words that do not have n, compared with words that do have n. I will compare words with n and o, and also words with n and m. Then I will give you some quizzes, and finally I will give you some sentences. Okay? So you're in part one. Let me begin with how to make this sound. The n sound is made by putting the tip and just the front part of our tongue on the ridge behind our upper front teeth and then pushing there gently. While we do that, we block air from coming out of our mouth, but we release the air through our nose. So air comes out of the nose, it does not come out of the mouth. You can feel the air coming out of your nose if you just put your finger below your nose while you make the sound. You should be able to feel a little bit of air coming out. This is a voiced sound. That means that our vocal cords vibrate when we make this sound. You should be able to feel that vibration if you put your fingers lightly against your throat while you make the sound. This is called a nasal sound because we are using our nose, and nasal refers to nose. When I say to put the tip and just the front part of your tongue against the ridge, I don't mean to curl your tongue. Let's pretend that this is my tongue. This is the front, this is the back. So the very end is called the tip. I don't want you to curl the tip up. I want you to use the tip and also just this little bit of the front and press it. Kind of flat a little bit. Don't curl it, okay? So we just press the tip and the very front up against that ridge when we make the sound. I have drawn a picture here to try to show you what I mean, where the position of the tongue is. I'm sorry the picture is not very good, but I hope that you'll be able to understand it. This is the upper lip, this is the lower lip. These are the upper teeth, the lower teeth, and this is the tongue. Right behind the upper teeth here is that little ridge that I said you need to put your tongue against, okay? That ridge is there just before the roof of your mouth curves up a lot. So the tongue is just pressing against that ridge, and as I said, we're releasing the air through our nose. Some people confuse the n sound with two other nasal sounds, and n. There is a big difference in these three sounds, though, in the position of the mouth. As I've just mentioned, the n sound uses the front of the tongue behind the teeth. I hope that you can see my tongue. And the air comes out through the nose. But with we're raising the back of our tongue. We pretend this is my tongue. It's the back that is going up. So the tongue position is different between and With this nasal sound, we are not using the tongue. We are closing our two lips and still releasing air out through our nose. So some people confuse them because they are all nasal. Other people confuse the n sound with o. This sound has the same tongue position, but it is not a nasal sound. So with this one, we are releasing air through our mouth, not through our nose. If you're interested in any of these other sounds, please see my other videos about those sounds. This video is about Now I'd like to talk about which letters make this sound. The letter N makes the N sound, as in these words, neat, nail, and no. But the letter N also often occurs with other letters to make the N sound. The letters KN make the N sound. In this case, the letter K is silent. So we just get the N. This is me, no. This word, no, sounds exactly like this word, no. Okay? So KN is N. The letters GN often make the N sound. They make this sound at the beginning of words, such as gnat and gnaw, and also at the end of many words. This is design and foreign. In each of these words, the letter G is silent. Gnat, gnaw, design, foreign. So GN usually makes the N sound. This occurs at the beginning of words and at the end of words. In the middle of words, though, the letters GN usually make the two sounds G and N. So we have signal and magnet. So here we do hear the G, okay? In some words, the letters PN make the N sound. And this occurs actually at the beginning of words. So when PN begins a word, we get the N sound. So the letter P is silent. This is pneumonia and pneumatic. There are also other words that begin with PN, but they're not very common. So I wouldn't worry about them. These are probably this one is the most common. Pneumonia begins with the N sound. And then in one word, the letters MN make the N sound. So in this word, the letter M is silent. This is mnemonic. So the letter N makes the N sound, but it very often occurs in combination with some other letters. I would like to give you some notes about the sound now. When the letters N plus G occur together in a word, we usually do not get the N sound. We usually get the N sound. This is the nasal sound where we raise the back of the tongue, not the front of the tongue. N is the front of the tongue, N, and N is the back of the tongue, okay? So these two letters usually give us N. And here are some words with the N sound, some example words. We have long, sing, and reading. Very often, we have words with an ing ending. And these words, this ending, will give us the sound, okay? Not N. Sometimes, though, we do get separate sounds, and the letters N plus G do give us the N plus G. Here is an example word, congratulate. We have N, and we have a G sound here. And in a few other words, N plus G gives us N plus J, as in the word engine. N and J. But most of the time, we get N, and that is the subject of another video. When the letters M and N occur together at the end of a word, the letter N is usually silent. Here are some examples. Column, autumn. So the letter N is not pronounced, and both of these words end in the M sound. Column, autumn. This does not occur when MN is in the middle of a word, such as the word chimney. Some common letter combinations that we often see in words containing the N sound are the letters SN, UN, and NN. We very often get the letters SN at the beginning of words, such as snow, snake, and sneeze. When we have these words, we pronounce both the S and the N sounds, and we pronounce them together, right next to each other. There's no vowel sound or no break or pause between these sounds, okay? Between these letters. So, snow, we go right from S to N. Snow, snake, sneeze. Okay? Very common letter combination with the N sound, and again, no break between the two letters. We very often see the letters UN in words, and very often at the beginning of many words. We see UN before many verbs, such as the verb undo and uncover, and before many adjectives, such as unclear and unfair. In each of these words, we pronounce both the vowel sound and the letter N as N. These are undo, uncover, unclear, unfair. We do also see the letters UN at the beginning of other words, and in some cases we get the U vowel sound, such as in the word university. UN is common. Then we also often see two N's together, usually, well, in the middle of a word. And here are some examples. We have the word dinner, winner, and funny. My last note is about syllabic N. This is a sound we get in some words in an unstressed syllable, often after the sounds t, d, or a glottal stop. What happens is the vowel in that syllable is not pronounced. So the N sound makes a syllable. Usually you need a vowel to make a syllable. In syllabic N, we don't hear a vowel sound. We only hear the N sound. And this syllabic N is represented with the N symbol with a dot underneath. Okay? Here's some examples of words with the syllabic N. We have hidden, button, eaten. In each of these words, we don't pronounce the vowel in the last syllable. Hidden. I go right from the first syllable to a N sound. Hidden. Button. Eaten. So I'm pronouncing the N without the vowel sound. Okay? This is a topic for another video. So if you're interested, please stay tuned. Please look out for this upcoming video. Now I would like to practice some words with you. Here's some words containing N to practice saying with me. The words in the first column begin with the N sound. The words in the second column have N in the middle of the word, And the words in the last column have n at the end of the word. Please practice saying these with me. Please repeat these words after me, okay? Near, necessary, need, neighbor, never, noise, nothing, new, no, pneumonia, answer, chance, corner, depend, enjoy, owner, random, snake, undo, winner, again, combine, design, engine, foreign, given, learn, remain, someone, when. Okay? And now for some comments. Let's see. In this word, nothing, only the first N gives us the N sound. The second N, as I hope you can see, is part of the ending ing, and here we get the sound. The sound where we raise the back of our tongue, okay? So only the first letter N gives us N. In this word, we do not pronounce the letter G, so this is new. In this word, we do not pronounce the letter K, so this is no. And in this word, we do not pronounce the letter P, pneumonia, okay? Here, we do not pronounce the letter W, so this is answer. And here, we do not pronounce the ending E, so this is combine. We do not, well, and we don't pronounce the E in engine. And we do not pronounce the E at the end of someone, okay? Combine, engine, someone. In English, we normally do not pronounce the last letter E in most words. In design, we do not pronounce the G, design. And in foreign, we do not pronounce the G, foreign. Okay. Let me say these one more time for you, okay? Please repeat. Near, necessary, need, neighbor, never, noise, nothing, new, no, pneumonia. And let me make a few phrases or sentences with these words, okay? Please repeat. Do we need to know our neighbor? Do we need to know our neighbor? It's never necessary to make noise. It's never necessary to make noise. I don't agree with that, but it's just a sentence that came to mind, okay? The new came near us. The new came near us. He has never had pneumonia. He has never had pneumonia. Okay, let's go to the next column. Please repeat again, and then I'll do some short phrases or sentences with some of these words, okay? Please repeat. Answer, chance, corner, depend, enjoy, owner, random, snake, undo, winner. Okay? The winner had the correct answer. The winner had the correct answer. We depend on the owner to get rid of the snake. We depend on the owner to get rid of the snake. I enjoy the window in the corner. I enjoy the window in the corner. I don't know. He had a chance to undo his mistake. He had a chance to undo his mistake. Next column, okay? Please repeat both the words and the phrases or sentences that I say afterwards, okay? All right. These all end in n. Again, combine, design, engine, foreign, given, learn, remain, someone, when. Notice in this word we have two nasal sounds. We have the m for the letter M, and we have n for the letter N. Someone, okay? Someone. All right, let's see. When will someone fix the design? When will someone fix the design? We need to learn a foreign language. We need to learn a foreign language. He bought a new engine again. He bought a new engine again. Should we combine the designs? Should we combine the designs? Okay, that is enough practice with these words. Let's move on to the next section. This is the end of part 1 of my videos. Thank you very much for watching. I hope that you will go on and watch part 2. And please subscribe to my channel if you want to know when I make new videos. Thanks. Bye.